Hey friends, welcome to my channel. It's Jess, y'all. Okay, so first of all, look at my beautiful Christmas tree. I'm feeling super jolly. Okay, so I put it up early. This is the first time I've ever put it up this early. Okay, so on a serious note, this is something that I've been really wanting to do for a long time. I understand that there's a lot of people on YouTube that are doing tarot cards and tarot readings, oracle, blah blah blah, twin flame, all kind of stuff, right? So I don't want you to think that I am hopping on a bandwagon or anything like that, okay? Honest to God, I've been studying tarot and oracle cards and just all things spiritual, twin flame, along those lines, right? I've been really looking into all those things for probably the past at least 3 years or so, and about the last 2 years, I've been really looking into this stuff, right? Really studying and doing my own research and watching tarot readings, listening to these people, getting what they say, and then feeling what I feel with the cards myself. So, again, I don't want you to think you don't know me enough to understand what my abilities or gifts, so to speak, are. I really don't want you to think that I'm trying to claim I'm something that I'm not, because I'm really not. I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you right now. I am, like I said, I've been studying this stuff, really into it for the last 3 years or so, really studying it for the last probably 1.5 to 2 years. I have my own decks, I have my own tarot cards, my own oracle cards, and believe it or not, I've created my own deck secretly on my own, because, these kind of things, you can't just come out and tell people about it. I feel like I'm stuttering. You can't really. Oh, look at my moon back there, my little lights on my TV. You can't just like come out and talk about these things to just anybody, because not everybody understands. They really don't. There's a lot of negative connotations that come along with tarot readings. Just for example, in my own experience, growing up, I'm from Georgia, about middle right side of Georgia. I don't want to give too much away, but if you ride up and down, there's a bunch of main highways, right? But there's one in particular, one that I live on, for example, that you can ride from beginning to end and probably pass at least 3 or 4 different psychic places, right? I hate the word psychic. I don't hate the word, but I hate the negative connotation that comes along with it, right? And there are a lot of people that see those signs. They see the little hands and on the signs, and they're like, oh my God, that's devil's work. That's, witchcraft or anything crazy like that, right? I grew up actually believing not necessarily that it's devil work or crazy or anything like that. It's just that growing up, I was conditioned to believe that tarot cards and readings and things of that nature are just crazy, I guess. Crazy. It's just a bunch of hoopla, right? I'm sure I'm not the only one that's been told those kind of things growing up. So I always strayed away from those kind of things. Not that I grew up in a super religious family. We didn't go to church. Not to give away too much information, but This picture up here, you can't see him clearly, but there's a picture right up here. That's my brother. He died when he was 18. I was 12. That's the only sibling that I had. So at a young age, I had to grow up and learn a lot of things that you don't really expect to have to learn or go through when you're 12, right? So around that time, we were never religious growing up. I mean, we believed in God, we did, but we never, regularly went to church or anything like that. I did have a couple friends that lived in my neighborhood that I would go to church with sometimes on Wednesday nights or Sundays, and but it was never like a regular thing, right? But again, not that I didn't believe in God or a higher power. So around that time in my life, my dad thought it was appropriate for us to at least try to go around and check out different churches around the area, whether it be Southern Baptist or, I don't know, Evangelist or, there's so many branches, right? So we were trying out all different kinds because we didn't know. He was just trying to find something for us to connect to and relate to and maybe help us find some closure, right? So, that only lasted so long. And then a lot of other things happened in my life as well. So, fast forward to now, 14 years later, I'm almost 27 years old. And probably, like I said, in the last 2-3 years, I've really, really become not only fascinated, but just really engulfed in this lifestyle. I don't know if you could even really say lifestyle. I don't know. But I'm not really one to find the correct words. I'm not good at explaining things, right? But you get what I'm saying. You try to find your place in this world, your purpose. So this is one of the things that I've on my own completely just found to be helpful. And also I've always known that there was something a little different about me. I didn't exactly know what. I knew I was a very empathic individual. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've realized really again in the last 2 or 3 years of my life, 3 years ago, me and my son's dad split up, right? When you're with someone, especially if you have a child with them, you just assume you want to believe you have the highest hopes for everything working out, being with that person being your person, right? God works in mysterious ways. Life has a funny way of showing you what you really, really need in life, right? So that's really where this all started. That's where I really started to get into tarot. I never really thought I would. Honestly, I really did not think that this was the path that I was going to go down. But the longer I go down it, the more, in depth I get with this process and learning about myself after splitting up with him, getting in my own place. It's just me and my son, learning how to really fend for myself and pay my own bills and, all that good stuff, right? It's tough, but in hindsight, you realize that it's what you're meant to do, because in the long run, it is going to help you be the person that you're supposed to be, right? So again, I got into tarot. And I've just become so fascinated by things and learning how to read cards and everything that comes with it. So again, like I said, I've I've always known that I've had a gift. Didn't really know exactly what that was, but I knew there was something different about me, right? Again. I hate to repeat myself, but I really don't want you to think I'm jumping on the bandwagon. A lot of people say this, especially right now in this day and age. A lot of people want to believe that they are this God sent, here to change the world. And some truly, honestly are. But you've got to weave through the bullshit to get to the truth, right? So please don't get so caught up in all these tarot readings on YouTube, okay? Because there are a lot. I listen to them myself. I have a few people that I really really trust to listen to and I don't know how to say it, but I've watched enough tarot readings to again weave through the bullshit, to realize that this is where fear comes into play, right? Your own fear, your own ego can steer you the wrong way, and can, when you listen to some of these tarot readings, you try to fit yourself into these little corners that you don't fit in, okay? Because of your ego, right? You hear these readings and you're like, "Oh my god, that sounds like me." But I mean, that that makes sense, kind of. That I mean, he could be cheating on me. I don't know. I wasn't thinking about that before, but now I am. That kind of stuff, right? So I I say all that to say this. I I believe that there is something within me that can, I don't know how to say it. There's something within me that can help you and me, right? By reading tarot, I believe that not only is it helping you, but it's helping me in a way too, because I am just as much of the collective as you are. So, I I've gotten into tarot, and I've learned for the most part how to read tarot, right? But I also have my own intuitive abilities. So that's the funny thing about tarot. Some people just literally are really good at reading cards. Period. They it doesn't mean that they're not intuitive, but some people are more intuitive than others. Some people really, really, really just know how to read the cards. Some people can lay out the cards and read them solely by intuition and clairvoyance, clairaudience, clair all kind of stuff, right? Clairsentience. There's just so many different kinds, so many different things that play a part in the bigger picture, right? So as far as me personally, I do believe that I'm highly intuitive. And I, for the most part, am able to weave out the ego and the negative aspect of things as a whole. I'm not perfect. I have my own faults, but I believe that I can get the message out there. Period. I believe enough in myself that I can do that for you. So, because I've been reading my own cards for the last year and a half, 2 years, learning how to decipher them, learning really how to read the cards alone, and then utilize my intuitive abilities with the cards and get the whole message that I believe there is. So I have done a few readings randomly. I just grew the balls the other day, probably about a week and a half ago, and put a message, not a message, put a status on Facebook saying, "Hey, I'll pull a card for you. $2.22." More so to challenge myself, because like I said, I've been reading cards for myself, trying to read my own story and decipher what's going on in my own life for long enough, to the point where I believe that it's time for me to try and see if I can channel anyone else's energy, right? So I did that about a week and a half ago. And mind you, this is, what's the date? Excuse me, sorry. Oh, I can't even pull it. I can't even pull it down the top menu, but I think it's the 23rd of November, 2020. So I successfully read four different people's energies. One of those people, ironically enough, excuse me, two of the four were not even aware of what tarot was at all. So I was a little nervous at first because if you are into tarot, you understand that it can be complex at times, and your fear and your ego can come into play often. And if you are not familiar with tarot and you're not even really familiar with, just holding yourself accountable and utilizing the messages that come through in your, what I'm saying, signs, synchronicities, things like that, and taking them into your own life and what I'm saying, utilizing them. A lot of people are not there yet, right? That's okay. That's okay. We're not all going to be there yet. It took me a good minute. So it made me really nervous when a couple of these people reached out and were like, "Oh yeah, what is tarot?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, here's the real challenge. I'm going to take it," right? So I did. One of those people fell through. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to reach out to you." Blah, 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 blah. Didn't. Fine, that's okay. I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to try to force you to believe what I believe. That's fine. Because again, a lot of people believe in these negative connotations that come with psychic readings, intuitive readings, tarot readings, things like that, right? But this one girl that was unaware of what tarot was, still wanted a reading, right? So I pulled two. Well, I was supposed to pull one card, but two popped out together, right? It was, if I remember correctly, it was the King of Swords, and it was the shit. It was the King of Swords, and it was Justice in reverse. So there's the reading that you can get from the cards, right? The actual meaning of the cards. And then there's your intuitive reading, what's literally just kind of coming to you, especially if you can tune into that energy, which is what I was challenging myself to do, because this was literally through the internet, through Facebook, through Messenger. These people were not in front of me. I'm not looking at them. I've seen her picture. I've never actually known her personally, but she's on my Facebook. I looked at her picture. I really, 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 really tried to tune in to her energy, right? So, it was difficult, but the cards that popped out, they popped out fast. So I was confident that whatever message came to me would be for her, right? So I write out this, long ass paragraph, right? And her answer, or her response was, can you like put that in a simpler version? Can you make it to where I can better understand that? It's a little long. And immediately I was like slightly irritated, because I was thinking to myself, okay, well, clearly you don't know what tarot is and how it works. Because if I just literally told you got King of Swords and Justice in reverse, you would have not the slightest fucking clue what I was just saying, right? So that kind of irritated me a little bit. So I went a little more in depth, and I just really, 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 really tried to tune in, right? So long story short, a summed up version of what I gave her was, I was really feeling like somebody was done wrong in some way, shape, or form. Somebody was in some form of court case, legal matter, something, right? But it was a lot more in depth than that. So when I went back through and tried to reiterate what I was saying in a I guess a simpler version. She was like, I'm still not really understanding. So I was thinking, oh my God, really? This is backfiring. So I asked her, I was like, is this resonating at all with you? And she said, well, my boyfriend is going to court on Wednesday. And I was like, there you go. There you go. You're not understanding it because you don't technically understand tarot and how it works and you know, tuning into people's energies and stuff. But your boyfriend obviously is going to be in your energy heavily, especially knowing this girl, they live together after speaking to her. So she's not understanding that his energy was heavily in her energy. And though I didn't necessarily pick up her personal energy, I picked up on his. And so after talking to her for a second, she was like, oh my God, wow. Okay. So it wasn't necessarily for me, but it was for somebody. And it was absolutely for him, right? Because of how in depth it was. Again, I'm not giving you everything, but that kind of wowed me a little bit and gave me that fuel to keep on going. So this is 21 minutes long. I'm sorry, but I say all of that to say this. I'm really curious how y'all feel. I know I do a lot of makeup videos, Ipsy, you know, Bath and Body Works, Scent Box, things like that, reviews and stuff like that. But I really, really, really am highly interested in doing tarot readings. So, and mostly to challenge myself, because I really do believe I can do it. I know I can do it for myself, but the challenge would be for me to do readings for y'all. So if you are interested, I'm going to show you. I can't show you the full, you know, version. I mean, the full view of me because it's very late. It's like 11 o'clock and I ain't got no pants on. Okay. So I'm sitting on my floor in my house. But I'm gonna switch this view really quick. If I psych, I don't think I can. What the hell? I can't switch the view around, but I'm gonna show you. I'm literally sitting here, legs crisscross, and I got my cards down here. This was a reading for myself. Okay, I've got, like I've said, I've got multiple decks that I've acquired over a while, but this, if you are somebody that's into twin flames, the divine, if you can read this, I don't know if you can read backwards. This is a deck that I created myself about a year ago. I didn't tell anybody about it. I literally just sat down with a notepad and wrote out, like, I don't even remember how many cards. This is only like a portion of the deck. I've got some of them laid out on the floor. But this is, if I remember correctly, maybe at least around 65 cards that I've created myself. Again, I didn't tell anybody about it because this is kind of one of them things you really can't just tell just anybody. A lot of people think you're crazy, which is fine because we're different, right? Yeah. You want me to be crazy? I'm crazy. Okay. Okay, that makes me interesting. But again, completely on my own to challenge my own abilities, I created my own little divine masculine messages deck. You can see, if you can read backwards again, it says by Just Jess. It's really pretty and iridescent, got a little galaxy on the front, but this is the only deck that I've created. Obviously, I haven't made like any like tarot, any other kind of oracle cards or anything like that. That is a goal of mine for sure. But this is just to get y'all a gist of what I'm about, okay? I'm serious. I really am. Okay, I know I goof off a lot on here. I know this is a long video, and I hope you're still tuned in at this point. I hope I'm not boring you to death. But I'm really fascinated by it. And if you're interested in tarot, please, 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 please comment below. And let me know, okay? Because this is something I'm really fascinated about. Or fascinated with, and I'm really interested in. And all right, I'm gonna give you a, ooh, shoot, I dropped my deck. But I'm going to give y'all a few little random messages, okay? Just to get an idea of what kind of, if you are into twin flames, what kind of deck I got going on. So this says, let me put it right here. This says, my hands are tied. This one says, we're so in tune. This one's upside down. This one says, going through changes. This one is, your mind is irresistible. So again, it's 60 plus cards that I've created myself. And that's just the twin flame deck. And this is literally only divine masculine messages. I mean, it could go either way, honest to God. When I made this, it was geared towards the divine masculine, but it really could go either way. A lot of these messages, it could be going back and forth between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It could honestly go either way. Again, I'm going to show y'all. See, this is my own little spread that I've got going on for myself. Just so y'all can see an idea. This is the Moonology deck. This is the Rider-Waite. Well, it looks like this, but the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Ooh, I'm stretching. Hang on. The Light Seers Tarot deck. And let's see, what else did I use? Oh, and my Divine Masculine cards. That's what I've used in this spread down here. I've got a couple more, but I'm really just interested in what y'all are interested in. Let me know, okay? Are y'all into twin flames? Just simple general tarot readings? What are you interested in? Please, please, please comment below, okay? For real, this is something I'm really passionate about and I'm really interested in, okay? So I really want to help y'all. Help me. Because I want to really, really challenge myself and challenge my intuitive abilities, okay? Because it's one thing to sit in front of someone and look at their face and physically be in their energy field and try to tap into that and give a reading. And it's a completely different thing to read someone through the internet, okay? So, and hey, secondly, if you're interested in a personal reading, hit me up for real, okay? For real. I do want to do them on YouTube, but if you're interested in a personal reading, let me know. Seriously, okay? I love y'all so much. I do. I really do, okay? Deuces. Good night.